Hello, you got Mr.
and Mrs. Smith. And today what we're going to go over with you is an adjustment versus a refund. What we mean by an adjustment, the very first strategy that we show you with our platform is how to properly adjust your W-4 and the perks that you get by having a home-based business and working a job. Now we're going to do that versus you not adjusting your W-4, you not understanding, those additional tax breaks and just settling for a refund at the end of the year. And you'll definitely understand what we mean by settling once we finish this video. Play it as many times as you need to. Let's dive in.
Let's do it. Adjustment versus refund. W-4 adjustment, which is the first strategy, as she stated, that we educate our people on how to do and maximize. So in the first slot, let's put $500 a month. The $500 represents the individual who takes action. We show them how to properly adjust their W-4, and in a month they bring home $500. That's just an estimate. Everybody varies. So depending on your scenario will determine that number. So multiply that by 15 years. And if you take that 15 years, $500 a month, you invest it as something that'll yield you 8% return, that will land you on a whopping $173,000. Now this is compound interest. This is your money multiplying on top of each other. Compound interest over 15 years. Now on the second slide, that person takes that same $500 a month from adjusting their W-4, and this time they keep it in there a little longer, and they keep investing that $500 a month. You multiply that by 30 years. So they're keeping it in there a lot longer because they understand the importance of compound interest and the power of it. Times 8% rate of return, and that gets you $745,000. Now this $745,000 is compound interest, as I stated. We have a financial calculator that comes along with our platform that shows you exactly how to land on these numbers and give examples so you can, figure out where it is you'll land depending on certain scenarios. And 8% return for those who want to. Some people question the ability to get 8%, 10%. We've witnessed for ourselves the ability to get more than 10% return, 12%, and sometimes even more than that. The only reason why we can't recommend what gets you that rate of return is because we don't have a Series 6, 7 to, we're not licensed to tell you what to invest in. However, we've witnessed it for ourselves, so they do exist in great numbers. Now, this is the example if you choose not to adjust your W-4. So, on the next line, you'll put $500 a month. Basically, that $500 a month equals out to $6,000 a year.
Now, this is for the person who did adjust their W-4.
Adjusting the W-4 got them $6,000 throughout their year. Now, if you do not adjust your W-4 and you decide to settle for a refund, what you end up doing to yourself is getting $4,000, and the reason why it's $4,000 is because when you get the refund, they really didn't give you everything that they really took. You get a portion of it. Most people look forward to their refund, but if they only knew how much was actually taken from them, then they would probably avoid doing that. And you multiply that by 15 years. Since the above scenario had 15 years, and if a person saved it, let's just say that they saved it, put it away for a forced saving, that would give them $60,000.
That's it.
$60,000. So obviously they don't understand the power of investing, the power of using a strategy, the power of, a home-based business, which is what we stress. $60,000 versus that $173,000. So they lost $113,000. Now, obviously, a person wouldn't do that intentionally. So you must understand this. So in summary, let's summarize this and wrap it on up and replay it if you have to. In theory, you have $6,000 a year. This is, equivalent to that $500 a month multiplied times 30 years. And that equals $180,000 for 30 years. So what that means is, in theory, and the reason why we say in theory is because sometimes if you don't understand this, you feel like you got everything on your refund. But in all actuality, in theory, if you would have, that'd be $180,000 over 30 years just saved, not doing anything. But in all actuality, all you got was $4,000 on your refund in a lump sum. And if you multiply that times 30 years, because this is what you actually were able to get by the refund, that's only $120,000. And that's if the person is modest and, doing at least saving it. So that's $120,000 that they saved. But if you understand what we're trying to stress, what we want to educate and empower you to understand, you put $6,000 per year. You multiply that times 30 years, investing in an account that will yield you at least 8%. That's not hard to find. Trust me, it's not hard to find. And that will get you, as we stated before, $745,000. That's $745,000 opposed to the $120,000 just by saving it, if a person does that. So the lost opportunity cost is huge by not understanding this. And you will see that in most cases, if you're employed, most time people are employed for 30 plus years, $120,000 is not enough to live on after you retire.
At all.
So you want to position yourself to be closer to the millionaire status rather than just $120,000 by settling for that refund.
Right. And in a sense, you're getting more on the front end and on the back end. So who's really winning here? So think about it. Play the video over and over again. If you want to know a little bit more about our financial education platform, reach out and we can definitely equip you with that information.
Absolutely. I want you to understand this, and that's all we have. Mr. and Mrs. Smith.
Signing out.
Signing out.